I wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about my story behind starting my business. Um, just to serve as an inspiration, even if it's just to one person, to just go after the life you really desire. Take that risk. I know it seems scary, especially if you're a person that has anxiety and does not like change like me. I can 100% relate, but I just hope that through me documenting this journey of me starting my small business, filming all of my trial and errors, um, and as you all see me go through this journey, you're able to be inspired and feel, encouraged to go after the life you want, like I said. Background information. I started this business, or the plans for this business, in June of this year. And it took me about 2 months to actually start working on it diligently. In June, I started all the planning for it, like I said. So I created a small business plan, and it was just everything that I wanted to sell. I researched all the products I was going to be selling, meaning like the waist beads. I had to figure out where I was going to get the waist beads from, where I was going to get the string from. Everything that was featured in my first video on this channel, the inventory haul, basically all of those items came from the research I had did in June. Once I created that list of things I needed and the price points for them, I obviously was like, okay, so I have the budget for startup costs, but I didn't have the money that I wanted to invest in it at that time. I am currently a university student, and so I receive refunds from my school because of my scholarship. So I knew that my fall semester was coming up, which was in August of this year. And I was like, okay, I know I'm anticipating X amount, so I'm gonna take X amount and put it towards my startup costs. Unfortunately, I was hit with a curveball, and I actually wasn't refunded the amount that I was anticipating when I made my startup costs. So obviously, August came around, I got my refund, and it was less than what I was anticipating. I do live on my own, not by myself. I do live with my child's father and my child. Y'all see her little hand in my launch day video. If you checked that out, or my first attempt at my launch day. And that's my little baby. But yes, I do live, so I have responsibilities outside of just receiving a refund from school, where the money could have went towards, groceries, gas, anything, girl. Because once you buy your textbooks, everything goes. For me, pretty much is just like, okay, well, how am I gonna delegate this money, right? So it obviously wasn't enough for me to put towards my startup costs. So I ended up saying, okay, well, what am I gonna do to start up this business? What am I gonna do? And I ended up looking into some small loans. And that was a process in and of itself. But I ended up finding this loan agency that's local to where I live. And it was a really small loan. I took that out. Although I'm paying on that monthly, obviously it provided me the funds I needed in August for me to purchase all of the inventory, like I said, that was in my first YouTube video. So that loan got me the ability to do that. I was so nervous. It was like my first big girl thing. I felt like I just wasn't really versed on loans, and I just was really nervous. I was like, am I setting myself up for all of this debt? What am I doing? Da, 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 da. But honestly, I'm happy in hindsight I did it. Now I'm still paying it off, girl, okay? Like, I'm only on my third or fourth month into the loan payment because you have to pay back with interest. And it does cut things tight, with everything else that has to be paid monthly. But obviously, you do that with the intention of hoping to see a return on your investment at some point. And that's all a business is. You're taking a risk, you know what I'm saying? So I had to get over that because, like I told y'all starting off, I don't like change gives me anxiety, and it kind of, I do everything to avoid it if I can help it. But as I get older, I realize, like, that's just a part of life. You have to learn how to embrace change, and especially when you're trying to inflict change in your life, oh yeah, 100%, you got to get comfortable with it. So me trying to get comfortable with it and actually implement this plan that I drafted, took out the loan, whatever, got all that inventory. And since August, I was working diligently in creating inventory. I started off with the waist beads. I thought when I bought everything, that was pretty much all of the inventory I would need. I knew that I would still need office decor. So like organization, and I'm trying to think of anything else. I think it was just office organization. But I swore, like, the products itself, like the product inventory, oh, I was like, yeah, like, I got more than enough candle vessels. I got more than enough waist beads. I got more than enough string. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to buy anything else. So I started off with making the waist beads end of August, beginning of September. And that was a whole journey in and of itself. Y'all can see it in the last video I uploaded, like I said, with me attempting to launch. I set my launch date for the 25th of September. So I began working on the launch inventory diligently around the second week of September. So like a week and a half to 2 weeks before my launch, I had to like organize all the waist beads and little organization bags. Like I said, you can see all of that stuff in the last video I uploaded. But when I actually went to make the waist beads, I was so intimidated because I had never done that before. And I thought, okay, candles, I pretty much got that down packed. Aromatherapy sprays, I would have that down packed. These waist beads though feel like I gotta just start practicing now because I don't even know how this is gonna turn out. And it's so funny because the waist beads is actually one of the more enjoyable aspects of my whole launch process. Like, I love the creativity that waist beads offer, and they're just really fun to make. And I didn't go into it with that mindset because I had never done it before, one, and two, I just didn't know what to expect. So I was really uncertain about it. And I ran into a lot of road bumps with it. But the thing is that in those moments and going through those processes, you learn so much. And it's like, you're grateful for them on the back end. Like, in hindsight, I'm very grateful that I went through all of those moments because it teaches you resilience and just perseverance. So it's a good thing. You're gonna need that, when you're starting a small business, or anything you want to be disciplined and stay consistent with. You need to persevere through hard times, and you need to be resilient. So those are really two valuable lessons. I finally figured out the whole waist bead thing. Finally figured out which string I needed. String was the most difficult aspect, and the beading needle was the most difficult aspect for me. But once I was able to find those two things that worked for me, we were good. I had to end up ordering a lot of inventory outside of my first inventory haul. And that was like such an annoying thing for me because I just felt like every time I turned around, it was like, oh, this is not working. I have to buy this, or this isn't gonna work, or I don't want it to look like this, so I need to go buy this. So I had to dig into my own funds after I used the money that I spent towards getting that loan for my business, like I had to dig into my own funds and I had to do that. But it's worth it. You want to create things that you're proud of, and that's what I learned. Like, you don't want to cut corners. You don't want to just put things out that you're genuinely not proud of. At least me, because I would have that guilt and that, I don't know, like I'm not going to feel happy to promote this or really want to sell this because this isn't even what I'm promoting, you know, creating intentional items. Is it really intentional if I cut corners? So, you know, that's what my first launch day showed me too. Like, upon me going through like all of the motions with having to order this and order that after I already ordered all of this stuff, and then me trying to do all of that stuff before the 25th because I set that deadline for myself, and it not happening was discouraging at first, but then I found the silver lining in it because I'm so happy I didn't launch on that date for all of the reasons I just said. Like, I was not ready to launch, you know. And even as far as like my website, I just finished my website this past Sunday, which was the 15th, right? So we're in October now, October 15th. I was anticipating the launch on the 25th. We're on the 15th now. Today's the 16th, but I just finished my website on the 15th, and it took me 2 full days to actually work on my website. It really took 2.5 days, you know what I'm saying, to actually make my website exactly the way I want it to be for you all. So me thinking I'm gonna launch on the 25th, y'all don't even know, like I was running around my office area with like a chicken with her head cut off, okay? Like, I'm like, I gotta make these candles. My waist beads was already done at that time. And that's why I never ended the launch day fail, even though nothing's a fail, video with that because, girl, I just was like, But Sunday before the 25th, so the 24th, I was running around this place. Like, I'm just like, I gotta make these candles, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like I said, the waist beads were already made, and I only had 5 made at that time. Now on my website, you can see it's about 10 featured. So I'm happy that, like I said, I had that extra 2 to 3 week window because I needed it. But I was working on the candles, and it was not ready. It was not time. It was not time, and I was trying to rush something that it was not time. And I actually learned a lot more about the candle making process and what I wanted to implement in this 2 to 3 weeks, because I've been working on making candles for the past month. So since August to September, I was working on just tester canisters, trying to see what fragrances I wanted to use with what and all of that stuff. And even after that month period, I still had to reflect and say, okay, well, now that I've had that time to test all these products and ingredients and fragrances, let me do some additional research so that my candles come out exactly the way I want them to. And they, for the most part, did. I'm gonna get better over time, but for the most part, I can say that I'm very proud of all of my products, you know what I'm saying? And that's the place I feel like you should be when you are starting, because that's the foundation you are laying, you know? But I wanted to share this because, like I said, I want to serve as an inspiration for anybody that wants to take a risk and do something that they genuinely are passionate about. But like I said, it makes you uncertain, or it makes you uneasy, or you've never seen anyone do it before, or you don't know how it's going to turn out. I want you to be able to look at this journey I'm documenting for just one person and feel motivated to just do it and believe in yourself and say, you know what, like, this is normal. It's normal to run into these problems and these trials and errors and these ebbs of and flows, because you're not gonna get it right the first time. And as much as I've learned within these past few weeks and this past few months, I know by the end of this year, it's gonna be crazy. I haven't even made my first sale yet. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna go through so much trial and error throughout just the process of being a beginning business owner. You know what I'm saying? But although it's hard for me to admit that I'm going to be running into problems, it's something I'm trying to teach myself to embrace, because it's a part of the process. We're here for the process. And I plan on documenting the whole thing, so y'all can come back to videos like this and be like, oh my gosh, like, you know what I'm saying? There's gonna be people that's the beautiful thing about YouTube, is this stuff is timeless. It's like a time capsule. Like, there's people that might find this video in a few years. I don't know how the world is gonna be in a few years, but you know, we can only hope for the best. And people find this video in a few years and it's like, oh my gosh, like, look where she is now versus where she started. Exactly. You can do it too. You can do this too. You know, that's a little manifestation in there, but believe in yourself. That's my message. And that's all I wanted to say, because I was filming content to create another launch day video, like vlog type series. But then I was like, y'all already just saw that. Y'all saw my process. Y'all see the process. All I was doing was making candles, except this time is the ones that I'm actually ended up, you know, featuring on my website. But aromatherapy sprays and some waist beads as well. But let me actually talk to you all and give you all a personable story about how my business came about. You know what I'm saying? So that's my story, and the website is now live, and I'm super excited. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on marketing the business. I'm going to look into I saw a feature on Instagram, the business page, where you can boost your post, because I have been posting consistently, but it hasn't reached but 2 accounts. So it's not really getting much reach. TikTok is a very, very, very great platform. I got my first follower, and you know, I celebrate all success. And I get decent, okay views, nothing crazy, but definitely more than YouTube. You never know what's watching your stuff though. You never know if it's humans or bots or whatever. So I really want to get more personable interactions. So that's why I was like, let me actually film this sit down video and actually give y'all the real behind the scenes transparency of me starting my business, because it can't hurt. And I feel like it's necessary. It's necessary. Definitely, if you want to start a business, it's nice to know what can you roughly expect, or what did this person's journey look like. You know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate you all for watching, and to everyone that has subscribed to my channel, I see it and I deeply appreciate it, and I hope you all feel inspired by this journey too, and you all find any of the items that I make or myself to resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the point. That's the point. So I thank you all for watching, and I hope you feel inspired to take risks, to live the life you want to live, and believe in yourself regardless of what that life looks like. You have you in your corner and me in your corner in spirit. And I wish you all the best, love, and light. Bye.